Welcome once again to Fundamentals of Public Policy and Analysis. We are discussing about the case study of Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. In my preceding lecture, I discussed about the historical perspective of Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Schemes. I also discuss about the constitutional provisions, especially under directive principle of state policies, Article 39, Article 41, Article 43, Article 46, and also briefly explain the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, which empower the local bodies, which plays an important role in the implementation of this program. I also explained the program's main objectives, rationale of implementing of the programs, major activities initiated under the programs, and key objectives which can be classified into primary objective, secondary objectives, and socioeconomic impact of the program on poverty reduction, distress migration, gender empowerment, etc. I also explain the policy implementation framework under this program. Now, one important aspect which we could not discuss in the preceding lecture is convergence of the MGNREG with other programs. Initially, when this program was implemented, it was realized that in order to get the optimum outcome of the program, then the similar kind of programs may be converged so that the outcome of the program could be more effective. In fact, all the line departments activities are implemented at the Gram Panchayat level. So, similar kind of activities are implemented at the Gram Panchayat level, horticulture department, agriculture department, forestry department, and water minor irrigation department, or similar kind of other department, fishery department. All these line departments, they have their schemes which are implemented at the grassroots level to increase the income and livelihood condition of the rural people. So, question comes that when the similar kind of schemes are being initiated and most of the programs activities under this Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme are also related to these line departments activities. So, why don't we converge these activities to get the optimum outcome? And convergence may be of different natures. For example, there may be dovetailing of resources for the same scheme. Say 50% of funds may come from Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme and 50% may come from fishery department, and fishery development can be initiated, pond can be constructed under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee programs, and technical know-how, fish seed and other things may be provided by fishery, and similarly there may be many such cases. So, Ministry of Rural Development created a framework of convergence, and let us now discuss that convergence framework of this program. But what do we mean by convergence? Convergence in simple term means the occurrence of two things coming closer together. Perceived expected outcome from convergence initiated include like increase in social capital, collective planning and implementation among different stakeholders will enhance social capital. This will improve management and work output at the grassroots level. Second, increase in physical capital. The process will help create durable assets and improve land productivities. Then third, facilitation of ecological synergies, natural resource based regeneration through activities such as afforestation, drought proofing, flood proofing, or water management under watershed development program lead to an effective use of available resources. So, horticulture department, forestry department, agriculture department, rural livelihood program, all they are interrelated programs and they can be converged under these programs, and they help to improve the overall outcome of the money spent on the program. Mitigating effects of climate change can be done through convergence, because convergence helps address issues such as CO2 emission and industrial pollution. Enhancing economic opportunities can be done through convergence. Income opportunities, savings, and investment may be generated through the converged activities. Strengthening democratic process, the convergence, awareness, and planning at the grassroots level will lead to greater ownership of projects. Facilitating sustainable development can be done through convergence. Convergence efforts through creating of durable assets, rural connectivity, productivity enhancement, and capacity development. Let me briefly discuss the main ministries which have converged their activities with Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. First is Ministry of Rural Development. Ministry of Rural Development is a nodal agency and it also have rural infrastructure, livelihood and watershed development program. So national rural livelihood programs can be converged with Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Program. Similarly, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, there are many activities which can be converged, including area expansion of fruits, spices, plantation, rejuvenation of work, creation of water resources, setting up nursery, training in horticulture related activities, because plantation horticulture activities are also done under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Schemes. So, horticulture department can provide technical know-how and provide better sapling, other inputs in order to get the better outcome of the money spent on horticulture development. Ministry of Jal Shakti is also conversed with this program. Water conservation, rain harvesting, groundwater recharge, watershed development programs. It has been decided that unskilled labor component up to 230 persons days for construction of these common service centers will be covered under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So the convergence can also be done with the Ministry of Jal Shakti, Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Climate. There are many activities under this ministry which can be converged, including forestation, drought proofing, social forestry, plantation activities, biodiversity conservation, and environmental restoration. Similarly, Ministry of Fishery, Animal Husbandry and Dairy, cattle shed, goat shelters, poultry units, fish pond, aquaculture infrastructures, these activities can be converged. Ministry of Women and Child Development, Anganwadi infrastructure can be created under this program. Wage component may come from Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act and material component may come from this Ministry of Women and Child Development to construct the Anganwadi Kendra. Women centering livelihood supports can also be given. Then Panchayati Raj Ministry, like decentralized planning, social audit, implementation through Gram Panchayat. In fact, Panchayati Raj Ministry is one of the important ministries for implementing this program, because at the grassroots level, Gram Panchayat execute the program, and strengthening of local bodies, Gram Sabha, Gram Panchayat becomes very very important to execute the program. And Ministry of Panchayati Raj, Government of India initiate several programs to empower the local bodies. Then Ministry of Ayush, this cultivation and conservation of medicinal plant, nursery development and income generating plantation activities through National Medicinal Plant Board. This can be done. Wage component may come from Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee programs and material contents or inputs, seeds, technical know-how may come from the Ministry of Ayush. Ministry of Railway, construction and maintenance of approach road to railway station and level crossing, drainage work, desilting of waterways along tracks, plantation on railway land, and strengthening and repairing of embankments were permitted. Then Ministry of Commerce and Industries, convergence primarily through the development of plantation crops like tea, coffee, rubber, species, and support for livelihood oriented rural employment and value chain. Let me give one important case of convergence of Uttarakhand Tea Board with Mahatma Gandhi National Employment Guarantee Scheme. This Uttarakhand Tea Board provides actually 300 days of employment per hectare basis to the owner of land to set up tea plantation on the land, and 100 days out of 300, 100 days comes from Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program and 200 comes from the tea board. And after the 8th year, the plant start producing results, and there is an option to the landowner that they can get 25% share in this, or if they want to run it, then they can take the land and start cultivating the tea on their land and supply the tea to the tea board. So such kind of initiatives may be very useful for improving the local livelihood. Similar kind of convergence activity at large scale may be initiated in the area of horticulture, in the area of medicinal plants, etc. And that's why this convergence framework is very, very useful to generate productive and sustainable employment. Ministry of Textile, like promotion of sericulture, plantation of host tree for silkworms, livelihood generation for rural livelihood, and support for rural textile related activities. So these are several convergence activities with different ministries. Briefly, I can explain you that the convergence may be of different nature. It's not necessary that convergence will be in financial term. Sometimes convergence may be technical, sometimes it may be financial. For example, fishery department can provide technical know-how to the panchayat for developing the fishery on the pond created under the program. There is no need that fishery department will also send money or give money in the convergence framework. So technical, physical and financial, all type of convergence are possible under this program. But problem here is that sometimes convergence does not take place. So these constants need to be addressed. For example, during my own research in the field, I observed that at the district level, when convergence is to be created, then convergence according to the convergence framework, then all non negotiable parameters will apply. So many times there is the schedule rate of wages in Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme is different. In other department, schedule of wages is different. They apply construct these contractors, while contractor is not applied or not allowed in Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Schemes. So due to this, then issue comes of who will own the project. So ownership is also the important issue. So there are many hurdles at the grassroots level in creating the convergence framework and implementing it at the grassroots level in a effective manner. Anyway, we can also have a look on the achievement under these schemes. This is a simple data to know how the women participation increase decrease over a period of time. So we had two time period, financial year 2013-14 and financial year 2024-25. Women participation in this program increased from 48% to 58.15%. Although according to this act, only one-third jobs are reserved for women, but in practice, women are participating more than 58% in this program. Aadhaar seeded in NREGA soft active workers, they have been significantly increased from 76 lakh to 13.4 crores, significant increase. Workers on Aadhaar payment bridge system active in 2013-14, such system did not exist, but now more than 13 crores workers are actively engaged in this system. Geotagging of the activity is also done, and this is also the important initiatives in order to reduce corruption and know how much genuine work is done under the program, and more than 6.26 crores assets have been geotagged, and status of payment through wages, now almost 100% wages are paid through bank accounts, while in 2013-14 only 37% wages were paid through bank accounts. Creation of individual assets, I told you that there are two type of assets created under the program: assets created on community assets and assets created on individual land, and that has also been significantly increased during this period. This is a big achievement that over a period of time there may be possibility that the work on community land may be saturated, because there is no enough community land on which these kind of activity can be initiated. So gradually, if share of community assets is declining and share of individual assets is increasing, so it is a good achievement of MGNRG. But one thing I would like to tell you, that since the program is demand driven, so if the share of workers or number of job is declining, or number of days work under this scheme over a period of time is declining, it does not mean that program has failed or program is not performing well. In fact, theoretically, if the demand under this program is declining, it means that outside jobs are being created and more productive jobs are available to the worker, and therefore they are not opting this. But that is theoretically possible. In practice, there are many other things which must be taken into consideration. For example, if labor budget is not properly prepared, if funds are not available, if workers are demanding jobs but job is not provided, and sometimes a balance is created between job demanded, job provided, by taking the application from the workers after the job is created, so that unemployment allowance should not be paid. So all these are some of the hurdles in this program, but overall you can say that program has made significant achievements. If you look at the share of SC/ST in the percentage, that is also declining over a period of time and becomes almost flat to 20 to 25% in case of both SC and ST together. Then another important things which I also referring earlier in my lecture, that real wages has increased after the implementation of this program. So let you know in this figure the trends in MGNRG wages. So this is the MGNRG wages. Although MGNRG wages is lower than the other wages, but they also created a benchmark for the other wages, and other wages, especially agriculture wages for male and female, they have also shows in real sense increase over a period of time. So one of the important impact of this program is to influence the real wages in rural area, because workers started demanding the minimum wage which is prescribed under this program for agriculture activities also. And since more and more jobs were available under this scheme, so due to scarcity of workers in agriculture also puts up the real wages in agriculture in India. Quantification of environmental services, this is also important aspect since the quantum of work is huge related to water, sanitation, plantation, regeneration of natural capitals. So they create environmental services. And how to calculate ecosystem services generated by this program is although a big challenge, but it's not impossible. For example, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and German and International Development Corporation develop tool and conduct pilot in Karnataka to know the environmental services created by this program, and funding is increase in groundwater level, water percolation, improvement in soil fertility leading to improved land productivity, reduction in water vulnerability and livelihood vulnerability, and similar kind of things can also be observed in other region of the country. So it is also the important contribution of this program. Let me also discuss step taken to improve the effectiveness and efficiency and relevance of this program. Recently, many initiatives have been taken. First is Mission Amrit Sarovar was started in 2022 and it aimed to construct or rejuvenate 50,000 water bodies across India to enhance water conservation, surpassing its target. Over 68,000 Amrit Sarovar were developed, reflecting a successful whole of government approach. So this is one of the important initiatives taken by Government of India. Then social audit is another important initiative taken by the local bodies under this program. Social audits are regularly conducted in the general body meeting of the program, and there is a provision of conducting social audit twice in a year at the GP level, but many times these social audits are not conducted in true sense and involving large number of Gram Sabha members. Aadhaar based payment system is another important initiative. As told earlier that almost 100% payments under this scheme is through bank accounts, secure software for estimate calculation for using rural rate of employment. So this is another important issue. Application is used to estimate the work to be undertaken under this scheme. GIS based planning or geo planning is also being initiated at the Gram Panchayat levels. Then Yukt portal was created to develop in collaboration with ISRO and NRSC for geospatial planning. Then Jal Doot application is also created to enable Gram Rojgar Sevak to measure and record water level of selected wells or two wells twice a year to know how much water table is regenerated due to execution of this program. Of pre-monsoon and post-monsoon estimation is done. Then Jan Manrega application is also created. It adds disclosure of information to its citizens and provide a feedback mechanism for the implementation of this program. So this is a good initiative towards accountability and transparency. National Mobile Monitoring System was also developed to capture the real-time worker attendance and geotagged photographs to ensure transparency at the work. Earlier, there were cases of fake muster roll, fake attendance. So now, mobile-based monitoring system will help to track such kind of cases, and Geo Manrega system enables geotagging of assets created under the scheme, improving monitoring, planning and accountability during and after stages of construction of assets. So it is now mandatory that when the work is initiated under the program, then photo will be taken, geotagging will be done, and during the progress period also geotagging will be done, and when the work is completed, again geotagging will be done. But there are many implementation challenges of this program. Although this program has made significant contribution in reducing the migration, it also helped to increase the financial inclusions, and research demonstrate that schemes effectively establish an consumption floor for marginalized agrarian households, reflecting that reliance on informal credit declines, which occurs due to the crop failures. Weak technical and administrative capacity is observed. Instead of having several benefits, what we have observed is weak technical and administrative capacity of the Gram Panchayat level. So, Gram Panchayat is not capable enough to effectively implement these schemes, and that's why capacity building program is very much required to improve the capability of Gram Sabha as well as Gram Panchayat. And implementation paradox persist where states with high administrative capacity and institutional infrastructure like Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh utilize the funds efficiently, while poor states like Bihar or Uttar Pradesh, they have been reported the underperformance of this program to generate adequate income and employment opportunity for the people. Another issue we have observed is labor budget. Labor budget does not reflect the actual assessment of labor demand. MGNREGA activities yet to be included in the Gram Panchayat development plans. There is lack of training of Panchayati Raj institution and village monitoring committees, and there is a lack of effective convergence. So these are some of the challenges. Let me now briefly discuss the second variant of this program, which was recently introduced by Government of India, and that is known as VBG Ramji Act, Viksit Bharat G Ramji Act. Let me tell you the full form. Viksit Bharat Gramin Rozgar Evam Ajivika Mission Act 2025. This act offers a statutory guarantee of 125 days of work per households, those who are willing to get job under the program. So this is one important change. The number of days increased from 100 to 125, focusing on creating durable rural infrastructure, especially water security, livelihood connectivity aligned with Viksit Bharat. So basic change that has been done is to align all the development activities under this program to achieve the vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047. It shifts from purely demand driven, often scattered projects to planned, durable, climate resistant infrastructure under Viksit Gram Panchayat plan. So earlier program was demand driven. Now you can criticize it or you can appreciate it. It is up to you. But this demand driven framework created under MGNREGA was only theoretical. In practice, it was also supply driven. So now this demand driven framework is eliminated and it is changed to planned, durable, climate resilient infrastructure under Viksit Gram Panchayat plan. So every Gram Panchayat will prepare this Viksit Gram Panchayat plan in which the job planning will be made. Here the ratio of funding under this program is 60-40. This is another change. Earlier 100% funding for wage component came from central government, and 75% of material content came from central government, and only 25 percent came from the state government. So now the liability of the state has increased, especially in case of general category, but special category states have 90-10 ratio, mean 90% fund will come from the center and 10% will come from the state. Another important feature is a 60 days pause in work availability during the agriculture season to prevent labor shortages. How it will be feasible is a subject matter of research, but this is a good initiative that since during the busy season more workers are required, so this pause of 60 days will help to agriculture also. Then using digital monitoring, applicant based tracking and biometric attendance to improve transparency and payment speed is another features. It moves from basic safety net to manage investment in productivity. So focus is not only just to give safety net to the workers, the emphasis is on creating wealth in the economy, creating more productive jobs in the rural economy through making managed and planned investments. It replaces reactive demand with proactive bottom-up Viksit Gram Panchayat plan. Then it focuses on creating lasting assets. This is another important thing, that durable assets will be created for water harvesting, road, markets, rather than just immediate, often temporary work. So temporary work will be disgraced, and durable assets which will build the infrastructure in the rural economy will be emphasized under this program. Question here is, why replace MGNRG? I have some points to discuss. First is changing rural reality. So over a period of time, rural reality has changed because MGNRG was established in 2005. Now we are in 2026. So during the last 2 decades, lot of changes have been made in rural area, and therefore government argues that rural economy has transformed and it requires modernization framework. So to modernize the rural economy, this change was brought by the government. Asset quality concern. So it has been observed that assets created under the earlier program were not of good quality. So focus will be on productive assets under this program. Then labor supply in agriculture. This has also been observed that after implementation of Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, there were shortages of labor in agriculture, and that's why a 60 days pause for this program will provide a good incentives to get the labor available in agriculture. Fiscal discipline. Since under this program there was no fixed results because the program was demand driven and based on the demand of workers and associated activity created by the institutions to absorb the workers, the additional funds were required. So there was no capping of the fund, but in this program, this open-ended funding model was changed to normative allocation, and it helps to manage effectively the public funds. It is changed to demand driven to supply driven, and it is also a matter of criticism because now the essence of the act is diluted because it was a right to employment of 100 days and jobs should be provided on demand, but this framework is lost in this program and program becomes supply driven rather than demand driven. Framework of planning, it includes the framework which focuses on 4 thematic domains. Earlier there were 9-11 activities under this. Now all these activities now clubbed into 4 main activities. One is water security, rural infrastructure, livelihood related infrastructure, and mitigation of extreme weather events. So, all activities are classified into this. These plans will be integrated with the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan and also aggregated at the national level plan. So, bottom up planning will be made, and there would be planning integration under this planning framework initiated under this program. Implementation and monitoring will be done, although many things which were set up under the earlier program have been retained, but there are few new things under this. And here key functions of the different committees, councils have been also stated in the bill. Bill retain most of the provisions of MGNRG Act and also provide that their composition will be specified under these rules. It constitutes the national level steering committee, which will provide high level oversight and recommendation regarding the allocation of resources. The act also constitute steering committee for each state of India, and key function of state steering committees include overseeing convergence with other programs. So, convergence framework is also retained here. Aggregation of district plan into state plan. This is also the important things which actually lacking in case of Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program. In fact, the MGNREG plan or action plan were separately done, and Gram Panchayat Development Plan were separately done. So now there should be integration of the VBG Ramji activities with the Gram Panchayat Development Plan, which will be integrated with block plan, then district plan, then state plan, and then national plan. So this bottom-up approach will be followed. Then coordinating with national committees. So this state level committee will coordinate with the national steering committee. District program coordinators and block program coordinator will manage the planning, compliance, payments, and social audits as usual, as were done earlier also. And Gram Panchayat and Gram Sabha also played important role in the implementation of VBG Ramji in the same manner as MGNRG were implemented by them. Technology will be used in a greater extent, and the bill provide using biometric authentication for transactions, geospatial technology for planning and monitoring of the program, mobile application based dashboard for real time tracking of the activities, and weekly public disclosure system will be initiated under this program. So this program also have greater transparency, accountability, and social protection system. It equips the central government with clear enforcement powers to ensure compliance and protect public funds. It authorizes the center to investigate complaints related to implementation funds released in the event of serious irregularities and direct corrective and remedial measure. So, in fact, this act provides more power to the central governments through having a framework, and panchayat were assigned also the important role. GPS and mobile based monitoring will be done. Real time MIS dashboard will be created. So, it provides a good transparency, accountability, and protection system. But there are few issues related to this act, and lot of materials are available in periodical journals and magazines on this issue. I can identify some of the important issues. First is dilution of rights. So, the right based demand driven program was changed into supply driven. So, the workers' entitlement and rights have been diluted. Fiscal burden on states. Earlier, it was 100% of 60% component of the budget on wage component. and 40% of material component came from the center. But now it is more burden on the state, and the scheme is initiated by the center. So 60-40 means some poor states will find it difficult to manage the funds, and that may also adversely affect the implementation of the program due to shortfall of funds at the state level, because there may be delay in the supplementary demand of funds from the state. So the share of state in the total allocation is 40%, which is quite high. Centralization of power. Now the normative allocation model allows the center to determine funding limits, reducing the autonomy of the state plan based on local demand. And then impact on vulnerable workers. In fact, for agriculture point of view, 60 days pause is good, but it will also hurt the landless workers because they may not get jobs when they need it, and their welfare may be badly affected. Then another is inclusion or exclusion. You can say exclusion error. Heavy reliance on Viksit Gram Panchayat plan and digital stakes may exclude illiterate, digitally unconnected workers if not implemented carefully. So if program is not implemented carefully, there may be possibility of exclusion of the marginalized groups, needy people under this program. Basic difference I already discussed, but briefly I can tell you the basic difference between the two programs is in MGNREGA only 100 days, in Viksit Bharat VBG Ramji 125 days, and there were around 9 to 11 activities scattered. Now they have been clubbed together into 4 categories, making more focus on sustainable development, emphasizing on water security, rural infrastructure, livelihood, and climate resilience. Burden of this scheme is more on state governments as compared to the earlier program, and it creates a pause window of 60 days, but there is no pause in case of MGNRG. Demand based system was followed in theory in MGNRG, while it is normative funding ensuring predictable budgeting while protecting the employment guarantee. And Gram Panchayat planning is central under the earlier program, and now it integrates institutionalized convergence and infrastructure planning. Then we can briefly discuss a case study of Karnataka for women contributions towards water development. And the detail is related to Mundali village in North Kanara district of Karnataka, and livelihood activities were agriculture and fishery, and water sources in the village is from Sarabi rivers. Problem in the village was water scarcity for agricultural livestock, reliance on rainwater for harvesting, and the MGNRG intervention was made to support water tank construction and providing employment opportunity for women. And women leadership played an important role, and results of these interventions were improved drinking and agriculture water availability, reduced drudgery for women, improved groundwater recharge, increased agriculture productivity for paddy cultivation, improved financial position of the family, and greater women's empowerment and community participation. And lesson is that MGNRG can transform rural lives when community participation and natural resource management are combined. So these are the two important points in this case study, that when community participation is combined with natural resource management, then outcome will be very good. So let me now briefly sum up this topic. In this topic, I discuss the convergence framework of MGNRG. Then we discuss some of the important contributions this program has made in the rural economy. I also explain some key issues associated with the implementation of that program, and then we discuss in detail Viksit Bharat Gramin Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Guarantee Act 2025, and in this act we discuss that this act provide 125 days of work. There is a 60 days pause in this work for providing workers for agriculture activities, and this programs is focusing on key four areas which were clubbed into water conservation, rural infrastructure, climate related, livelihood related, so that the activities initiated around these core four areas can improve the overall rural economy, and India can achieve the target of Viksit Bharat by 2047 through these initiatives created in the rural area. Thank you very much.